though, so yes.
We'll see what we get.
Hey, we are live. Hey everybody, welcome to Susan's Style Lab, where we solve all of your style challenges and create your creative life path based on how you look and feel. So you always look and feel amazing in your clothes every day, and you show up on brand with confidence. I'm Sue Solari, your host, and we are in my office today because we have a special transmission going on here today. So whenever I have an amazing resource that I have found that I've gotten to partake and benefit from, I want to share it with all of you guys. So if you are live with us here today, make sure that you let Ecamm Live allow you to post your name. So you just have to click on something. I'm not quite sure what it is. A lot of times I put on the chat and then I don't know who's in there. So if I say, who's chatting, just put your name in there in front of your chat. So I would love for you guys to really settle in and get a feeling of groundedness, because I can't wait for you to meet my special guest today. So I'm going to tell you just who she is, and I'm going to bring her on. She's backstage in the green room. So I wanted to introduce you to a new friend of mine, newish friend, who I've gotten to meet recently and gotten to work with, and she is an intuitive success mentor. And she's going to tell you a little bit about herself, and we're going to talk about color, the use of color, the vibration of color, and all sorts of cool things. So with that, I'm going to bring Lauren Wingate onto the show, and let's just add her to the left or to the right. I'm not sure how we do that. There she is. Okay, she's on the left. Would you like the left or the right, Lauren?
I'll take either one.
Yes, she's here. Welcome, Lauren. Welcome to the show.
Hello. So nice to see
the
all of you.
Style Lab Club. We are live, and this show gets broadcasted out live every week, and we also place a link onto YouTube and to LinkedIn. So you're going to be everywhere. But I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, Lauren, and how you got into the business you're in, and how you help people a little bit, and then we'll talk a little bit about our some of our really special, cool questions. So take it away.
All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
So again, my name is Lauren Wingate. I am an intuitive success mentor. That's a mouthful, I realize, but I have the ability to tune into people and see what's lying below the surface in their subconscious mind. So many times people don't even realize what's floating around, going around and around, and they're listening to that and living by it, living by beliefs that are in there, by thoughts that are in there. And I'm able to go in and share with them through visions and words what's going on, where their blocks are. And I help to release them energetically and also mentally, because once we put that on the table, it clears pretty quickly. So there are a lot of aha moments for people as we walk through doing a session together. And I got started in this. I mean, I call it the gift of vision. I've had it since I was a child. And I started getting information, shall we say, throughout the years. So I've been working in the field for about 20 years. And I decided to really go full bore, full time in just the last few years. And it's just been a remarkable journey to help business women in particular get unstuck. So you might have done all the marketing and whatever courses you've attended and just feel like you're stuck and you have these blocks and you can't understand why. And in our society, especially in our Western culture, we tend to just sit up here and we filter all the information, all our interactions through this. And what I teach people to do is tap into their hearts. It's a hugely valuable resource that most of us don't use. Most people view their hearts as this really vulnerable
Mm.
vulnerable, I can say that,
True.
place to
Yeah.
go. And so they only want to tap into that when they are loving someone, like a husband, their children, close
Mm.
friends, things like that. And then
Mm.
they back out and they go back up here. And what I teach professional women I teach them how to access that. It's a huge part of your being that
Mm.
people don't use.
Mm.
So you could call it woo. And
Woo
there's an
woo.
aspect of woo to it because I'm able to dial in and see what's going on. But the cool thing about this is you receive clarity and balance. And we look at where you have these walls of fear, blocks, whether it's stress. So
Mhm.
many things in life can prevent you. Fear is the big one. And
Yeah.
we get through to the other side of that wall of fear. And what's on the other side? Freedom. And so
Yay.
it's really fun to watch people get to that side,
Mhm.
and it's like a panacea that they just have been too frozen in fear to look at or to actually live. So I
Right.
hope that helps to explain a little bit about what I do.
Well, I love the way you talked about it in just easy to understand terms. I think that um, an intuitive or a clairvoyant. There are a lot of terms that have been used over the ages. Um, Psychic. Those terms can sound like you said, woo woo, but they can also sound like from someone who says, "Well, I believe in science." um, just because they are it's an area where most people don't have the ability to use, or they're not using their own natural abilities to tap into. Those messagings, if you will, that are coming to you. In a more, sort of automatic way, I guess, because of your gift, if you
Yes.
will. So I like the way you put it that way. And also, I love that you are helping someone help themselves, right? So
Yes.
it's really
That's
like,
part.
okay, you're a guide. And I love the way you use mentor in how you describe what you do, because that's really what you're doing, is teaching someone to access these parts of them that they're shut off to. So, like the emotional, energetic, where, like you said, I mean, humans spend, like, I don't know, 75, 80% of the time mental. It's all the mental body, and we're not using our emotional body and on our hearts. And so, I know that I have learned from you to breathe from my heart and to use that as a center to connect to ways that I can improve my physical health and my mental, both. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then just dialing back to what you were saying about the science of it. I mean, we are walking energy fields. We live
Mm-hmm,
in a world of energy.
mm-hmm,
And in the work that I do, I have really created a program that is easily accessible for people, including, well, how can we start to shift those beliefs that aren't necessarily true? So people
mm-hmm,
live in a world of beliefs. Beliefs carry energy themselves, words carry energy themselves. And
mm-hmm,
so as sometimes I call it bumper pool. So we'll kind of go along in a session and things will come up and I'll share that. But at the same time, we're walking through some really good principles to help you shift these things. And we're doing it energetically anyway. We're doing it in
yeah.
an environment that is non judgmental.
Mm.
And you're learning how to tap into your own intuition. So many people don't know how to do that. And that's part of the learning process that we do in the work that I do.
I love that it is a powerful tool.
It's a
That you're
hugely
It's a
powerful
powerful
tool.
tool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my heart
And
pendant today, actually.
yeah, oh yay! I didn't wear
Yeah.
mine. I wore something else, but I have one.
Yeah,
Yes, and
yeah.
so I love that we talked a moment ago about the clarity and balance. And as we unfold into this and really learn, oh, I didn't know that I could access this from within.
Mhm.
Um, and then you start getting to a point where you decide, am I going to use my head or is it better to go into my heart right now?
Mhm.
And as we develop that heart and see how powerful it is and what a valuable tool it is, and it's
Mhm.
equally as powerful, believe it or not, as your brain. There's many
Yeah.
neurons in the heart as there are in the brain. So we really take a deep dive in the education aspect of how to open ourselves
Mhm.
to this and use our whole being instead of just a part of it.
Yeah. Oh, I love this, Lauren. It's so fun to talk to you about this stuff because, yeah, I'm kind of a woo woo. I mean, I told you that when I first met you. Like, I
Yeah.
believe in woo woo. And just putting it into terms that people can like, oh gosh, no, that's interesting. Never thought about that. Is helpful, right?
Oh, it's a
Um,
wonderful tool. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, what I want to ask you is some questions about color,
Yes.
because I think it's a really nice way to segue into the work that I do to help women look and feel their best. It is a circular, I like to say, um, form of confidence building
Hmm.
and knowing and tapping into your purpose. And I help women with their wardrobes and their image, right? And when I talk about circular, it's how you feel on the inside affects the results that you get. Because you're lit up because you feel good about yourself, and when you put something on that is, something that is your style. Like I'm a very bohemian, feminine style. I wear kimonos a lot. I just feel like I'm going to show up. I'm going to make a good first impression, and so that response is felt from whoever it is that you want to connect with, right?
Absolutely.
So if we are able to tap into that on a regular basis, more in an intuitive way, like how you teach,
In a very
um,
intuitive way.
we
Yeah.
can create those results for ourselves. And one
Yeah.
of the tools that I use is helping women decide that they're going to wear more color, um, and which colors are the best ones for them, for their, a combination of hair, eyes, skin, and reflects. There are colors that are more beneficial for you to wear, that will make that impression, both when you see yourself, like on a Zoom call, and then also when you look in the mirror. So the question I would have is, how does color affect our energy? Like from your viewpoint of a vibration and of an energetic, sort of scientific way. I mean, I
Sure.
love
So
that.
I think the beauty of this conversation and what you do and what I do are a really wonderful fit because
Mm-hmm.
your job is to go in and really help people look their best by picking things that go together. A lot of people don't understand that. And you're just a magician when it comes to, oh, it's boom, boom, boom. And people, because I'm a client and
Mm-hmm.
I am what? Oh yeah, I never thought of doing those things
Mm-hmm.
together. So all that beauty on the outside, and as you said, you're able to choose the colors that really help to radiate the person. Well,
Yes.
let's talk about color. Color is energy too. Everything has an energy attached to it. So I printed out this little wheel and I'll send it to you. I don't know if you can see it. Can you
Mm-hmm.
see it?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, what we can do in the show notes is we can put a link to it if you want, or
Sure.
yeah, and I can
So
even put it in the
here's what
comments.
I'd like to discuss. So let's say you're going to wear the color yellow. Well, what does yellow mean? It increases fun, humor, lightness, personal power, intellect, logic, and creativity. So when you're looking in the mirror, and I know this is going to be another question, but I want people to start thinking in those terms. Let's say Sue says, you know what, this orange, even if it's just a hint of orange, is going to be so great with whatever other colors and outfits you're putting together. Orange stimulates creativity also,
Mm-hmm.
and color does. I mean, it's a very creative field of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Productivity, pleasure, optimism, enthusiasm, and
Mm-hmm.
emotional expression. So that's kind of fun.
I
And I'll
love
just
it.
go through a couple more. I'll go to
These are
the other side
great,
of the
Lauren.
color wheel and talk about blue for a moment.
Okay.
It increases calmness, peace,
Mm.
love, honesty, kindness, truth, emotional depth, and devotion.
Mm.
So, as you start to think of colors in a deeper way and learn about what energy they radiate both externally and also on you and how those colors make you feel, you start looking at yourself in a different way.
Mm. Mm.
And so that's when I would like to sort of segue into looking in the mirror, if that's okay, unless you have
Yeah.
questions about the color.
No, I think that these concepts of what color, the meaning of color, are
Yeah,
fascinating because almost like, some of the personality typing that is popular to do too, of a way to learn more about yourself, really, is what those things are about, and
yeah,
how you can look at, well, if you're deficient in one area, say
yeah.
you're not having a bad day, or you want to show up and really produce something that's very creative, say you're doing a presentation or a talk, you might consider then, oh, well, maybe I should wear orange or yellow. Well, maybe if you don't have any orange or yellow in your wardrobe, then this is the time to research, getting some pieces. I know that you
Right.
wear blue a lot. Like we
Yeah,
we found that top together.
yeah,
I love that top, and it is part of your branding. So
sure.
it's another way to reinforce your personal style with your branded image. Is
Yep,
those colors. So a lot of times I look at when I'm helping someone with their brand to create outfits for photo shoots and presentations, is we look at what are
absolutely.
your brand colors and what can you wear that would complement that or
Yep,
repeat that.
yeah. So
So this
another
is
thing I
great.
want to add to the color part of this is, let's say, and most people know this, but I'll use it as an example, but I also use another example. Let's say that you are a person that is not super outgoing and you have a more quiet personality, yet
Mm-hmm.
you've been asked to give a presentation. Well,
Mm-hmm.
you can use color to your advantage.
Yes.
And we know that red is more of a power color. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
red's not your primary color, but you can have pops of it, which would be
Right.
Suze's expertise. And
Mm-hmm.
you go in there and you start connecting to these different
Mm-hmm.
colors, and it has an effect on how
Mm-hmm.
you present yourself. So you've got the
Yes.
physical aspect of what you do, the visual,
Mm-hmm.
and then to tap into the whole energetic part of it. Or let's say you're kind of a gregarious person, and that's just your personality, super bubbly, and you're going to an event where you need to be more subdued, or you're going into a meeting that maybe some not so great information has to be conveyed and you want to
Mm-hmm.
keep the energy really low. Well, then you would go to a blue or a
Mm-hmm.
green, and green creates harmony, and
Mm-hmm.
you start thinking about colors in these ways,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really remarkable how you can shift things aside from just having to say do your presentation on something, or do your
Right.
talk, or have
Yeah.
that meeting that you know is not going to be the most comfortable, or that
Mm-hmm.
it is supposed to be vivacious, so you get to
Yeah.
play with it.
I love it, and it's just another resource that we have available to us.
Absolutely.
And I'm always trying to get people out of wearing so much black, um,
Yeah,
and what black does as far
black's
as
not on my wheel.
absorbs. Good. Black absorbs. Just I say this,
Truly.
but if you're hearing this for the first time, it absorbs all the color around you, and so it can make you look washed out and pale. But I say on another level, black is a uniform. It's not fashion. People say, "Oh, I'm
No,
from New
but
York. I wear
it
black."
carries a heavy weight to
It's
it.
heavy,
It
and it
does.
does not. Yeah, it does not show up well on screen. So for photo shoots, for on Zoom, because it just looks like a blob,
Right.
right? Because of there's no definition unless you have a lot of texture with the black. But also, I would add that wearing black, all the time, helps you to hide because it puts you into the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just a deeper concept about black, which we will not go on about it anymore, because I do get a lot of people. A lot of people ask me, "Oh my God, I love black. How can I?" They're like, I can't not wear black. So I did want to ask you. We mentioned about when you see yourself in the mirror. So how can that be transformative for someone who, especially during all these times of the last 2 years, we've been at home. It's been challenging, and sometimes not comforting to look in the mirror.
Right. So, what I would like people to have as a takeaway about when they look in the mirror, and as you said, especially after the last few years where you're not used to being out there so much, especially in business. So now it's time to go back out there, and that can be a little jarring energetically, emotionally. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
So working with you, they've got the outfit that in the few outfits that they're going to start incorporating. But when they look in the mirror, and we all do this,
Mm-hmm.
and I want people to kind of take a step back a little bit and stop being so critical
Mm-hmm.
and look at that lovely person, the spirit of that person in the mirror, and try to breathe through your heart. You know me, I love to do a breathing exercise through the heart, because when you're in your heart and you're in that intuitive place, you can't judge. There's no criticism when you're in a heart-based space.
Yeah.
So you look in the mirror, you've got the outfit on, maybe you start thinking about the color, and you think about the beauty of the spirit who is wearing that outfit.
Yeah.
And not being so critical. So looking into the mirror now becomes a way of seeing the beauty of the inner self, along with the beauty of what you're wearing, and not the critical part. It's a big aspect of how critical we are of ourselves. So now that we know that if you're in your head, that's a very critical place to be. We don't want to get rid of the head, but we want to kind of taper off on being so critical of ourselves when we're looking at ourselves.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with, oh, is my lipstick straight, or should I wear my hair like this, or like however, that's okay. But those final steps should be one of, wow, I love the spirit of you, self, and going into that self place. And then your energy is raised beautifully. I love to raise a vibration energy within folks. And then you walk away from that mirror feeling really good about your stuff. And that's a really important aspect. That's kind of a pause that we should take to acknowledge and appreciate ourselves and honor ourselves.
I love that, honoring ourselves. And,
you can feel that in your heart right now.
Yeah.
I can feel you're feeling that.
You can feel what I'm feeling. I love that. And because I was thinking about, I got distracted because I was looking at some comments, and everybody says we look beautiful. Unfortunately, it says Facebook user, which it just means that I'm using Ecamm, and they haven't given Ecamm permission to use their name or whatever. But I don't want to off topic myself, because we're talking about the spirit, right? And there's a balance. So of course I talk about how we show up visually, because we're visual beings, right? It's in our DNA to make assumptions and evaluations of what we see, right? And we think in pictures. So there's that balance, though, of being the critical part. We did get some hearts. The critical part is being out of balance with our spirit, right? So we're too material. Like I talk about materialism in a lot of different ways, and I'm not just talking about materialism meaning wanting more things. I'm talking about the material place that we're in. We are spiritual beings living, I really believe this, a temporary physical life. So we're not our bodies, we are our spirits. Our spirits are in a body right now. And so because we are spiritual beings, this is the spiritual plane. And being in those vibrations of happy and joy, those are right there at the top, right, Lauren? So
Absolutely.
I love these. I love the idea that even just you telling us, helping us to have a tool to not be critical,
Yes.
even just saying, look, like I like to just say, look at my. I like to look at my eyes sometimes. That reminds
Absolutely.
me. It's like a little message to look in, because the
Windows to the
eyes,
soul, for
windows to the
sure.
soul, right?
But when you walk away, what I would really like to convey is when you walk away from that mirror, you should
Mm.
be feeling really good inside.
Mm.
And not walk away from the mirror with, oh man, I wish, I'd lost 5 pounds. I wish this, I wish that. And
Wrinkles.
the wrinkles, my leg,
Mm-hmm.
too bit, whatever people say to themselves that's
Yeah.
critical.
Yeah.
It's like, I really embrace you.
Mm.
And guaranteed that 99.9% of the people do not walk away from the mirror having these lovely thoughts. And those thoughts, they carry energy.
Mm.
So wherever you're going, you want to be able to be that person that is the whole being,
Mm.
not just this little sliver up here being critical.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
So
big.
good. It's so big,
It's
Lauren.
shifting how we view ourselves.
Yeah, it is. It is a mindset issue. It's a self-care issue, and self-love. And I find that just being in a place of gratitude, I try every morning with my morning routine to start out with gratitude, and gratitude for myself. I mean, I think it's our culture, like, to just always be looking outside. But my first things are, I'm grateful for my family. I write everything else, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I forgot myself. Um,
Right.
but this is so helpful and so good. I would love if anybody had any questions to put them in the comments. If you guys have questions for Lauren, um, about how you can better tap into some of these concepts of feeling, feeling good about yourself. Any questions for me? So if you happen to be watching this later, or you think of something later, just put them into the comments, and Lauren and I will do our best to make sure. Just tag us if you want to make sure that we see the comment. Um,
Happy to
we
answer any
would love
questions.
to keep the conversation going.
Hmm.
Questions are always really, really good. Just to, I love questions. Like, please, like, I loved the idea of, like, I used to play a game of Stump the Stylist. Like, give me a challenge. Um,
And
yeah.
you can play
So,
Stump the Intuitive.
yes, yeah.
That's
Do
not
people
easy to
ever?
do.
I know. Do
Try.
people ever ask you, like, specific questions, like, what's the lottery number I should bet on? I don't know. That's kind of, I don't know why I said that, but
Oh,
do
yeah.
people ask you real specific questions, Lauren? Or
They can. I really try to help people be in the moment and be present. It's one of the things that I teach them how to do. And so if we start going down the road of lottery tickets and things like that, we're kind of skewing to
mm-hmm.
an area that if you feel the energy around that, it doesn't feel
No,
very good. It
no.
feels forced. It doesn't feel in alignment. I do have the ability to see things for the future, but I just don't like going down that road because
Mm-hmm.
it's contrary to my philosophy, which is to
Ah.
really be present with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Not an
Okay.
easy thing to do, but
Well, I think we just, our human brains, um, take us from, and it's a lot of this is like the concepts you talked about that are the challenges of living in a fear based, or, if you're thinking about the future, right? You're worried. That's anxiety, worried about what's going to happen. Like, okay, I'm giving a talk next weekend. I've been working with Lauren on this because I've been waking up at like 5 in the morning with like this nervous feeling. I'm like, I've given this talk before, but I'm
yeah,
traveling for it. It's an audience I don't know, and so there's a little bit of unknowns there. So I'm
right.
like, I'm not in the present if I'm worried. Worry is not in the present. It's
That's true.
future, right?
Right. And so, but I want to make the distinction because a lot of us are work with being our future selves. And so it's like, well,
True.
what about being our future self?
Mm.
Being your future self now.
Yes.
So
That's the
you
key
create that
word.
future self, but you're
Power of
being
now.
that self
Yes.
now. So I
Being
just want to
that
make sure
person now.
that we make that distinction here.
That's a really good topic to bring up. It is
Yeah,
living your life now that you are, as if the goal is already achieved, right? So,
correct. Correct.
yeah, we did have a,
Becomes a
yeah.
very present process.
Right. Yeah, and I was going to also say that if you're living in the past, if you're remunerating over something that happened, and that's a very human thing too, but getting yourself out, that's living in the past, right? Like regret, right?
So
You know,
unless we're living in, I mean, I'll kind of blow some minds here, but unless we're living in our future self, we are living in our past, and that includes all the thoughts,
mm,
all the beliefs.
mm,
But I won't take it further down the
yeah.
road. I have a whole lot to say about
I
that, but
know that goes deep.
so I
Maybe
want to
we'll
keep it
do.
in the fashion lane.
Yes, fashion lane. Maybe we'll do a part two. We
Yeah,
did have a couple comments.
great.
You guys put your names in when you put a comment, so I know who you are. But she's saying it's a great conversation, and she knows that when she wears her power color of royal blue, which I love royal blue, she feels amazing and it energizes her. I
Yes.
love that. That she's felt that effect, that vibrational effect of wearing that
Yeah.
power color. Like that's her power color.
And I'll add
Yeah.
to that, oh, okay, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm wearing this power color that makes me feel so good and elevated. We want to
Mm-hmm.
elevate ourselves. We deserve
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
And
Me too.
let's say that you get out the door and you've gone to your meeting or wherever you're going, and maybe you get around somebody who's got a lower vibration of energy.
Mm.
Use your power color as a tool to help you, and just say, yeah, but
Mm.
I'm wearing this and this is how this makes me feel, instead of going down the lane of getting caught up in somebody's maybe lower energy
Yeah.
vibration. So
Right.
you
Right.
can use that power color as a tool. It's a wonderful
Mm-hmm. Not get pulled down to their level,
correct.
because
Yeah,
people will try. They'll try to bring you there. We
yeah.
know. Oh my gosh, this has just been so lovely, Lauren. You are such a gift to so many people. Me personally, I've grown so much having the extreme pleasure of getting to work with you, and I just want to thank you for
Well, I
everything that
love
you
working with
do.
you, Suze.
We
But
do good
yeah, I
together. We
love
have fun.
helping people. I just love helping people elevate their lives. It's so doable. It's
Oh,
just learning how to do it.
right,
Yep.
exactly. Taking that step. So, if people would like to learn more about you, Lauren, we're going to put your website would be the easiest way. They could schedule a consult with you, or
Sure.
how is the best way for people to reach out to you?
So they can reach out to me. My website is laurenwingate.com, or lauren at laurenwingate.com. Pretty
Okay.
easy. You can messenger me. A lot of people messenger me on Facebook. Set up
Okay.
sessions that way and
Yeah.
consults. I'm happy to spend 15 minutes doing a mini session with people, and those are really powerful.
Yeah, I
They
know.
really help people shift in a direction that is most beneficial to how they live their lives. It's pretty great.
Right. And get an idea of how you can help. So, um,
Correct.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Awesome. Well, please, guys, please reach out to Lauren. Make sure you follow her on Facebook and LinkedIn. I know you're on LinkedIn too. And let her know. Let us both know if you have questions for us. And with
Yes.
that, I will wrap it up. Just love. We had several people on, and we're gonna hopefully keep the conversation going here. And just really appreciate if you guys, if you are watching this on replay, just put that in there. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you get the alerts so that you always get a chance to see these videos. And pass it around. Share with your friends, because this is sharing is caring.
Sure.
Right? Let
Yeah.
everyone know. Let everyone know about Lauren and her special skills and
Oh,
gifts, and
thank
how
you.
she is helping change the
Enjoyed
world.
Yep.
So fun being on here. This is awesome. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
We will do it again. We'll do a part 2.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right,
Thank you so
guys.
much.
Have a
All
great
right. Take
day.
care.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.